So this is the 72-inch Kolpin Conqueror plow. This is how I'm starting my setup for install. So you just drop this lever by putting this side in first and positioning it so the teeth can fall flat in there. Helps to have this totally straight in relation to that. And then you put this side of the pin of the spring in first, and then I put a shoelace around this side and pulled it this way to get it to pop onto that. And now I'm installing this little screw here. For step number 3, this M6 is our little tiniest of all of the hex head screws that they give us. It has the little lock nut on there. Using a 10mm socket to put it on, and I have to put it to a certain so Titan specification, see illustration 1.3. So 7 pounds. So I'm gonna adjust that here. So I just started by hand tightening it. And then, oops, that's not gonna work. So it's too big for any sort of ratchet head, so I just found my little guy here. And just gonna hand tighten it till it's tight. This is a 10mm. So to install the plastic piece, for me, it was actually a little tricky. You just gotta wiggle it around, and then I actually had to smash my hand down on it, and then it seemed to click into place. All right, so I attached the pins to this bar here, and then you throw these little guys through, bend them over with a needle nose pliers there. And now I'm attaching my hardware, tighten this down with my, it's a 16mm, and then I got these guys going in. I chose to do the lower setting. I'm only guessing, but basically I have not the biggest tire. I mean, let's see. So for my tires, I'm at like 26. And they say for 28 to 29, that's like the middle setting. And then 30-inch or larger is the tallest setting. So I chose to go with the shortest setting. And this is where my bolts sit on both sides. So for my final tighten on these, I used my Tighten to Spec tool here. And that was for we were looking for 34 pounds, so I just set my dial here to 34 and cranked it until it was tight and it stopped. All right, so now I'm attaching the lift bracket assembly. Use 3 of these guys, and then you need 3 of your bolts here. I'm going to be using a 13mm, and I have my setting set to 17 pounds. One thing that I did that I started doing a little later was I cut out the sheet with the kit contents, and I started like labeling, numbering, and only removing as I needed, and then also crossing them out as I got done with them. So I just positioned my whole system sideways here. There's my 3. And I'm gonna hand tighten to start. All right, so for attaching these bolts, I decided to put the blade facing down. And it's easiest if you start your nut when this bolt head is like way out here, so because there's not a lot of room in there, so you start your nut basically when it's flat, and then you work into it. I did all the turning with this, and then I took a little bit of pressure off with this. And these bolts are supposed to spin freely, so just get them tight enough and then back them off just a hair. because this is a hinge. You want it to be able to move. All right, so we got our bolts tightened here. I went to kind of like about half. It says to have 2/3 through, but I wasn't sure if it meant 2/3 on this side or 2/3 on that side, so I just went in the middle. And I couldn't see any diagram saying exactly where it was supposed to be, but there's something saying you can adjust these more to be tightened and whatnot, so I don't know. This is what we're gonna start off with and see how it goes. All right, so we popped this in by hand, everything just hand tightened, and then we got our 13, and I'm gonna use that to get it most of the way there, and then a hand tight for the end. So we got our 17 millimeter set to 34 pounds here, and we got our blade stopper, plow blade stopper adjustment. Just a little hand tightens so far, and then so I'm gonna probably use this to bring it in most of the way. And then you're not supposed to actually have it like tightened until you mount it to the side-by-side and you know where it's gonna sit nicely. So we're just gonna bring it in close for now. All right, so we slid it up, and you're supposed to pull your pins out. You like lift this, and then once these teeth are double wrapped around your bar, for us we have the North Star Premium. And so then you put your pin back in there, and then next is you attach your winch to the winch mount. So I think you got to turn your side-by-side on to be able to run it outside here. So never mind, it doesn't actually have to be on, but you do have to have your aux on. Make sure your button is on, and then all right. Jenna, can you pull it? Match it. So we got our thing connected here. Move, AC Bond. Okay. I don't know. All right, so at first it's gonna get tight and it's gonna kind of sink down into your winch thing, but don't be too scared like I was, because there we go. I think that's it. So today I was mounting the whole system here, and pretty excited. Ready to dangle some snow piles. All right, so I just did a little plowing, and I left these loose when I was plowing for a little bit, and then after a little bit of plowing, they had fallen into this number 2 position. So the number 2 on here, so I just left them there and decided to tighten them down to the specs there, because I actually don't know exactly how much I'm gonna want. So I kind of just let Mother Nature decide for me. And then also I've seen guys putting PVC on the bottom of this, but I do have the gravel feet here because I have a gravel driveway, so should be good. Good luck out there, guys.